Tonight on News 5 Live, Day 1 of the Commission of Inquiry into the Sale of Government Assets. Former Prime Minister Dean Barrow is first in the hot seat. 112 vehicles were sold in 13 months. A missing man is found dead in a shallow grave. It's nomination day in municipalities across the country. And the police inaugurate their new Fit for Duty gym. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
Contraband is illegal importation of fruits and vegetables or any commodities entering the country from an illegal port of entry. Contraband fruits and vegetables do not follow required sanitary protocols and may contain pests which can endanger agricultural industries, livelihood, and can result in the exposure to coronavirus. When purchasing these goods, you place yourselves and the lives of your loved ones at great risk. We advise the public to report any illicit activities to the nearest customs or Baja office. The Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, the Belize Agriculture Health Authority, and Customs Department encourage you to say no to contraband and buy local.
You've worked hard your whole life building your future, your family, your business, your home. And when you aren't around to safeguard your most beloved assets, you are at ease because you know they are protected by RF&G Insurance. For over 50 years, RF&G has been making sure business owners get back to work after an accident, and families get back into their homes quickly after a natural disaster. At RF&G, it's you who matters most. Visit us today and learn why it pays to get it right. RF&G Insurance, a Rowe Group company.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live from Monday, February 15th. I am Marlene Cuellar. He was the former Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Still today, Dean Barrow was the first witness to testify before the Commission of Inquiry tasked with investigating the sale of government assets. Barrow was questioned by commissioners for a little over an hour as they inquired into the sale of government assets, including all property, except for land, over the period October 2019 to November 2020. The Commission was constituted to determine whether proper procedures, practices, and applicable rules and regulations were duly observed during these sales. The Commission will also determine if there were improprieties, irregularities, or wrongdoings in the sale of the assets. If that is the case, persons responsible will be pursued for criminal or civil action. This morning, the former Prime Minister explained the process resulting in the sale of government vehicles. Head of the Vehicle Care Unit, Roberto Vicente, would write to the Financial Secretary Joseph Waite to seek approval from the Minister of Finance. According to Barrow, government departments and ministries would typically correspond to the Vehicle Care Unit, indicating that a vehicle had crashed, become disabled, and was no longer in running condition. Vicente would then notify the FinSec, who would approach the Minister of Finance. But according to Barrow, there is a political tradition during the time of elections. Outgoing ministers would request to purchase vehicles assigned to them. But this time, according to Barrow, ministers and CEOs were told that they would not be able to purchase the vehicles.
Whenever, though, an election, a general election was imminent, there would be a number of requests coming from ministers who did not feel for one reason or another, or were not sure that they would be returning. This matter of political fortunes, as we all know, is an extremely dicey proposition. So there would be not a stampede, but certainly an accelerated pace of requests from outgoing ministers to be allowed to purchase their vehicles. This is a practice honored time out of mind. So in the period leading up to the November 11th general elections. Again, no minister or any other person wrote to me. Indeed, because we were aware that it was more likely than not that people would be making these requests, the Financial Secretary and I discussed this, and we thought we better launch a preemptive strike, because we were talking about especially unusual circumstances, especially critical circumstances where the finances and pretty much everything else of the country had been ravaged by COVID. The Financial Secretary therefore wrote a letter with my endorsement and blessing to the Cabinet Secretary to say, let ministers, chief executive officers, all know, whoever comes next, there will be no money for replacement vehicles. So we will sell to outgoing ministers and chief executive officers no vehicle.
According to Barrow, 3 persons were allowed to purchase their assigned vehicle before the November 11th election. One of those persons is the former Deputy Prime Minister Hugo Pat. Pat bought a 2020 Toyota Tacoma for $65,000. While his request had the support of the former Prime Minister, Barrow's formal approval as Minister of Finance was never given. The other approved buyers were former Senator Dr. Carla Barnett and retired President of the Court of Appeal Justice Manuel Sosa. Barrow defended his approval of the sales.
The only other exception in the run-up to the general election came by way of a request from the then Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Hugo Pat. Again, the Deputy Prime Minister went directly to the Financial Secretary, who came to me. I spoke to the DPM and I said, but you know the policy anyway. I thought that also as a special favor, I would agree, and I so indicated to Joe Wade. What happened thereafter, though, was that the usual requirement from me that there be a customs valuation so that we could document that we were not selling for any undervalue did not happen. And I don't know whether it was because that didn't happen or whether there was some other reason, whether it just fell through the cracks. But that one did not come to me for my formal approval. Now understand that I'm not trying to, in any way, act like some artful dodger. I have said, and I repeat, that orally I had agreed. And if it had come with a customs valuation, I would have affixed my initials behind the words I approve. But it did not come. So, properly speaking, I never approved that one. Mr. Justice Sosa, during his entire tenure on the Court of Appeal, refused to have any policeman assigned to him as security and refused the offer of a driver to be paid for by government. Those two things over that 21-year period saved the government a great deal of money. In my view, it would have been churlish, mean-spirited in the extreme, not to have acceded to the request of Mr. Justice Sosa. So I told Joe, I certainly support it. Of course, be sure to get a valuation from customs. That was done, and the file then came to me, all done by Joe, the valuation, the communication with Mr. Justice Sosa, and then the file came to me with the usual request for the waiver of the boarding and for the sale to Mr. Justice Sosa of the vehicle for the price fixed in consequence of the customs valuation. And I wrote, I approve, and initialed and dated that. Dr. Carla Barnett, who was, as you know, a senator, and who was not coming back into government no matter what, regardless of the results of the election. Which results people like you knew to be a foregone conclusion, Mr. Chairman, but it didn't matter. Whichever way it went, Carla Barnett was not coming back. She spoke to Joe and then spoke to me and said, listen, I've been a consultant. Well, she served, as you know, all over the place. Vice President of CDB, Assistant Deputy Secretary General at CARICOM. She said, look, I'm going back out and I'll be on, in effect, my words, not hers, the mercy of the world. I won't have the money to buy another vehicle in a better condition than the one I'm currently driving. I would wish for you to make an exception to the policy that you've laid down and allow me to purchase my vehicle.
The former Minister of Finance also revealed that some departments and ministries were all too eager to dispose of their vehicles as unserviceable. During the period that the Commission is investigating, 112 government vehicles were sold for an estimated $300,000. About 25 government vehicles were sold weeks before the elections. Former Commissioner of Lands, Wilbert Vallejos, bought a 2004 RAV4 for $10,000, while former Comptroller of Customs and Excise, Colin Griffith, bought a 2016 Toyota Hilux for $6,000. The Commission asked Financial Secretary Joseph Waite about it.
It may be, if you will forgive me, what is meant to be a light-hearted comment. It may have been that in some cases departments and ministries were a little too eager to treat vehicles as unserviceable and to write them off, because the corollary to a write-off by a ministry or department was that they would require a replacement.
The total number of vehicles sold during the period was 112.
112. And what was the total price?
You got me there. They're all listed.
Yes. I just wanted an idea of the amount of revenue that was involved.
I would say about $300,000 or so. Right. Maybe a little more. I didn't have the total. I didn't have the total, but it's here. Okay?
Understood.
Yeah. In addition to the vehicles, there was, I think, 9 laptops, and then a package of furniture, including the 2 items, to the Honorable Attorney General. In reviewing the list, I didn't see any member of the Ministry of Finance, nor did I see any member of the Vehicle Care Assets Unit. However, that would not prohibit them from buying a vehicle if it was for sale. Anybody can make a bid on a vehicle.
Of the 112 vehicles that were sold over the course of the year,
Uh-huh.
how many were sold after Parliament was dissolved in October, in the last month leading up to the election?
I would say about a dozen.
About a dozen. So most of the sales took place in the year before, in the period running up before.
Well before. In fact, sometime in July, there was a Nissan X-Trail for one Kenroy Sanchez at $1,200.
What's the name? Sorry, I'm trying to
Kenroy Sanchez,
Kenroy Sanchez. For how much?
$1,200.
$1,200.
Right, $1,200. There's a Jeffrey Gabriel, 28th of September, a Volkswagen Jetta, a 2007. The X-Trail was a 2013 model. There is a sale to a Doyle Gillette.
The Jeffrey Gabriel was for how much?
$700, I'm sorry.
$700.
There was a sale to a Doyle Gillette on the 28th of September of a 2003 Chevrolet Duramax, I guess, Duramax for $3,000.
$3,000?
Uh-huh. There was a sale to a Jamal Smith on the 28th of September of a 1995 Nissan pickup truck for $1,200.
These prices would be inclusive of duties and taxes?
Right, because they were larger and serviceable, yeah.
Okay.
Then there is, I said Jamal Smith?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
you stopped at the 1995 Nissan Jamal Smith, $1,200.
There's an Elias Gongara, the 28th of September. There was a batch done at that date. 2007 Hayase van. And that was
Highs.
Heis, thank you. $200.
$200.
I think that was a crash vehicle. On the 28th of September, there was a sale of 8 unserviceable ATVs. I guess
8 ATVs.
Yeah. 8 ATVs, all-terrain vehicles, I believe they're called. For total price of $1,600 for the 8.
$1,600 for 8 ATVs.
Yeah.
And who were they sold to?
To Colin Swayze.
Colin Swayze. The government service uses ATVs.
I believe these are
Polarises from police.
No. I think these were. We received these as a donation from the government of India for some little tricycles. You know, I believe them. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Okay. The police don't have Polarises as far as I am aware.
I thought so.
I don't know. One or two.
Which is the next one on your list?
Okay. Again, the 28th of September, there was a Jason Neal, 2 unserviceable ATVs for $400. And then on the 28th of September, there was a Balthazar Goodger, G-O-D.
Balthazar Goodger.
Okay. A 1993 Jeep Cherokee for $1,250. And these have a notation that they're all scrapped and they're cannibalized.
Yes.
That is, these ATVs and so. Then in October, there was, what do you have here? In October, on the 10th of October, there was all right, I'll take them as they come. On the 14th of October, there was a sale to an Art Diaz, A-R-T, Art Diaz, of a 2019 Skygo motorcycle for $100.
That one was verified? Any inquiries made by you?
It must have been crashed. I can't.
Well, it seems pretty new for $100.
Yeah, I can find more detail on it. It's in the file. Huh? Okay.
The next one.
Next one was on the 7th of October. The vehicle to Justice Sosa, the 2008 Land Cruiser, for $10,385.
The final witness to be called before the commission was Ruperto Vicente, the head of the Vehicle Care Unit. Vicente is tasked with ensuring that the proper procedures are followed. Vicente testified this afternoon for a little less than an hour, during which he explained the process practiced at the Vehicle Care Unit.
In most cases, the financial secretary would say, left this one with me. I need to think about this somewhere. And then you'll have a discussion, sometimes with or most times with the Prime Minister or the Minister of Finance. Once I get the indication that the vehicle is going to be disposed of, the instruction comes to me with the letter, then I prepare the letter seeking approval of both the Financial Secretary and the Minister of Finance.
Has there been instances where you've approved sales on your own without adverting to the Financial Secretary?
No, sir, never.
Or without adverting to the Minister of Finance?
No, sir, I would never do that.
Yes. All right, what about other property now? We just discussed vehicles, because
Yes.
I see that you've dealt with some ACs and laptops and furniture.
When it comes to the other items, we'll go through similar procedure. Nothing changed, it's the same procedure we follow whenever we're making a sale.
Are these procedures set forth in any regulations or any policy documents by the ministry?
No, sir.
Or this is just practice?
It's just a practice. It's something that we inherited, and that's what we've kept over the years.
Are you aware that the Finance and Audit Reform Act authorizes sale, but only through use of one or the other of defined tender procedures?
Yes.
And
Listening this morning, yes.
And are those tender procedures ever followed?
No.
I notice in the documentation that all the documents are addressed to Mr. Jovencio Herrera, and Mr. Hugo Pat's name, in fact, appears nowhere.
That is because there are times when requests are made. And someone is purchasing a vehicle or an air condition, they would request that the sales be made in someone else's name. That is, for our case, a standard practice.
Who is Mr. Jovencio Herrera?
I have no idea, sir.
He wouldn't happen to have been the driver for Mr. Pat?
I have no idea who that person is.
After today's inquiry, a press conference was held during which the chairman of the commission, Senior Counsel Andrew Marshallek, shared that the commission will reconvene on February 26th. The witness list has not been finalized, but it will include the Auditor General, the Accountant General, and the former Agriculture CEO. Marshallek says that the commission will form a conclusion at the end of their investigation. He added that during today's session, it was obvious that errors were made.
I think once we test the documentation and test the accuracy of the information in them, we'll be able to draw conclusions. I don't want to draw any conclusion prematurely. At this point in time, I think it's clear that there were errors in the documentation, and even the letters signed as approved by the Prime Minister contain these errors. Clearly, we'll have to analyze all the information at the end of the day and decide who, if anybody, we need to bring back to put any specific questions to. You have to remember that what we're engaged in is a fact-finding inquiry, so that we must elicit the facts in public before everybody, and then analyze and decide where to go. And the whole thing happens right in front of everybody and the cameras, so that there's no investigation outside the room or conclusions being drawn otherwise than in the proceedings themselves. No, we haven't formed any conclusions. There might be personal dispositions, but Commission has come to no conclusions. And we do hope to be as impartial as we're able to. As to smoking gun, I don't know how much more smoke you expect to find.
When we come back, we'll show you the nomination day in the major cities.
The Electronic Temporary Employment Permit, TEP, is a newly designed system which allows persons to apply online for a worker's permit. The online TEP system is faster, more efficient, and user-friendly. Belizeans and foreign employers can apply for a temporary employment permit for a prospective foreign employee who qualifies for a post or vacancy. Step 1. Register. Go to the Ministry's website at mlgrd.gov.bz. Select Labor on the menu bar and click on Temporary Employment Permit. The web page for the Temporary Employment Permit application will load on your screen. Carefully read the instructions on the Welcome and Apply Now page. Click 1 to learn about who can apply for a temporary employment permit, and click 2 to examine the list of documents required. Enter a valid personal email address and click Submit. You will receive an email with instructions to validate your email address to continue with the process of registering an account. Step 2. Username and password. A sign up to apply for permits page will load on your screen. Enter your desired username, which should include letters, digits, and symbols only, and no spaces are allowed. Your password should contain at least 8 characters. Confirm your password and click Next to proceed to the next step. Step 3. Fill out particulars of employers. Select the options that best represent you, whether you are company/business, self-employed Belizean, or self-employed foreigner. Once the field of your selected option has been filled, click Sign Up. You will be directed to the confirmation page where you can review your submission. Once reviewed, click Confirm to complete your registration. Step 4. Upload documents. Log into the system by entering your username and password. You will now have access to upload the relevant documents to complete your profile. Carefully read the list provided on the right to guide you on the type of documents to upload. Please note that the maximum size of the documents should be 10 MB. All documents must be in English, and documents must be in either PDF, zip, PNG, JPG, or JPEG. Choose a file to upload, then click Submit. Your profile has now been completed and all documents have been saved successfully. Step 5. Payment of fees. You will need to visit the Government of Belize Treasury Department to make payments for your administrative fees and stamp duty. Admin fees are $25 and stamp duty fees are 20 Belize dollars for a total of 45 Belize dollars. This fee is for each application you wish to submit. Once you validate your payments to the government's treasury, insert your receipt number and click Submit. Press on the Click Here to Apply button and this will take you to the new TEP page. Fill in each required field and click Submit. Congratulations! Your new TEP application has been created. Step 6. Schedule interview. The employer's portal allows the employer to make appointments for interviews. Click on the calendar. Select the date and time of your interview. On your screen, a notification will inform you that a labor officer will contact you to confirm your interview. A labor officer will review your application and will respond to you. You can view the status of your application throughout its life cycle and be notified of your application if it is approved or denied by clicking on My Application above. This completes the 6-step guide for applying for a temporary employment permit.
Abigail.
Yes, Gran?
Abigail, I can't breathe well.
Granny, we need to go to the hospital to get you checked out.
No! I'm fine.
Yes, Gran, we need to go now to get you treated. Now, before it's too late.
No.
Grandma, we need to go for all of us.
No.
Stop. If you are having flu-like symptoms, please call us immediately for medical guidance. If you have chronic conditions such as diabetes and you are experiencing symptoms such as shortness of breath or chest pain, please also seek medical attention immediately. We've lost a lot of people this year. We don't want to lose you too. Please seek help if necessary. Call us at 0800-664-2273. Continue to wear your mask at all times. Keep physical distance when in public and stay at home unless absolutely necessary. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Start your year with a win with Bellikin and its new promotion, Papa Stopper. Yes, sir. Every time you pop one stopper off our Bellikin, make sure you check under the crown. If you see one bottle shape, you win one free Bellikin. If you see one ball, you win $20. If you see one star, you win $100. And once you see one diamond, you win $1,000. Sure, Bellikin again, you know. Papa Stopper. When you pop a stopper off a Bellikin, check to see if you're a winner. You can collect your free beer or $20 cash prize at the store nearest to you. If you win $100 or $1,000, redeem your prize at the nearest B&B sales center.
Promotion is valid until Saturday, March 27th or while supplies last.
Papa Stopper!
Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Buying a car should be a great experience, and St. John's Credit Union wants to make it even better. But we offer more than just great low rates. We make the application process easy and make sure our members get the best service possible. At St. John's Credit Union, we offer excellent products backed by exceptional service. So the next time you are buying a new or used vehicle, take advantage of St. John's Credit Union's Drive Forward Auto Loan product. We put the buying power in your hands. Come and drive forward with our auto loans with rates as low as 9% and low or no down payments. Drive forward with St. John's Credit Union. Some restrictions apply.
The March 3rd municipal elections are about 2 weeks away, and while political teams have been on the ground and online campaigning, today they all made it official. We start with nomination day in Belize City, where this morning the PUP candidates, the mayoral hopeful, and 10 councillor candidates went to the IT vet for their nominations. It will be a test for incumbent PUP Mayor Bernard Wagner, whose team was voted into office in March 2018. He's seeking re-election and hopes that the Belize City residents will return him to City Hall. We caught up with Wagner and his team at the IT vet today. Here's that story.
The People's United Party Belize City 11 were nominated today in a very low-key nomination event at the IT Vet. In their blue shirts, they walked by small groups along Freetown Road and onto the IT Vet compound. Each of the candidates, accompanied by 2 nominators, took turns to officially get their names on the PUP's slate for the Belize City municipal elections on March 3rd. Bernard Wagner was first up to be nominated and officially confirmed as the PUP's Belize City mayoral candidate.
It's nomination day. We have at least us 3 here has completed that journey, really filling out that nomination form, and it went pretty well. We are excited, and we did this 3 years ago, and we are overly excited this time around.
But will Belize City residents trust Wagner with another term at the Belize City Hall? He believes so, despite the criticism that he and his team didn't live up to the expectations and deliverables over the past 3 years. So, how did he perform as mayor of Belize City from 2018 to 2021?
We believe that the work we have put in as a city council in terms of the social infrastructure, in terms of physical infrastructure, all in a pandemic environment, I believe that in itself is success.
We hear from residents that they feel that your council has been a disappointment in terms of delivering the needs of the city.
Disappointment, it's how you define disappointment. The fact of the matter is that our council came under a UDP regime. We were not given any hands out compared to the previous council. The previous council had in its coffers over 40 million given from central government to them in the area of the bonds and in terms of funds from Petrocarib.
How do you respond to the criticisms that the city residents had high expectations of you with a background in finance and banking? They expected you to come up with some creative and sustainable ways to finance projects for the city, and perhaps that's one of the reasons they voted you in.
But listen, man, we were in a COVID pandemic.
For 1 year, Mayor.
For 1 year. But prior to that 1 year, we were well on our way to achieving most of our manifestos, which our manifesto, we have completed about 90% of it. The fact of the matter is that you cannot compare this current city council that was in for 2 years, 3 years, with the previous council who was there for 12 years.
So Wagner says that their achievements, coupled with support from central government this time around, should make even more of an impact. The incumbent claims they were able to make good on 90% of their promises to city residents.
We have done, in terms of physical infrastructure, over 60 plus streets, but we don't toot our horn on physical infrastructure. We toot our horn on activities that impact people's lives. On Albert Street, we did a super sale that attracted 80 business houses that drove economic development within the Albert Street area and within the city, which attracted 15,000 residents on a monthly basis, right? We did sporting programs. We did many other youth upliftment programs, dealing with grief therapy. We even instituted a individual who took care of people who went through trauma. And these are some of the things that we have achieved as a city council. And again, I continue to harp on the fact that this council never had the resources at its fingertips. We feel more comforted now that given that we have a central government that will be able to work along with this council, we are excited.
The complaint is, oh, we don't get the support, but the truth is that the city residents, they're voting you in because they're hoping that you're going to come in with some creative and innovative ways to find funding for these things, and many of these bodies sometimes fail to do that, and so the argument kind of gets a little bit old.
But my good friend, we were creative. We were creative. Listen, we were in the throes of a pandemic, and we have not terminated not one of our staff. If you don't define that as success, if you will sit here and tell me that that is not a measure of success, then you go and talk to the Belize tourism employees that were terminated.
We will find out on March 3rd if city residents will return Wagner to City Hall, along with his team of 10 councillors made up of familiar and new faces hoping for a shot. Kaya Catus is one of the most recognizable names in sports in Belize, and now this high achiever cyclist wants your vote as a PUP councillor candidate for Belize City. Katu serves as the acting National Sports Coordinator at the National Sports Council of Belize. She wants to bring her cumulative sports and fitness experience and knowledge to City Hall.
Hearing the name Kaya Katus previously, people did not relate that name to politics. This name has been a household name due to my accolades and my accomplishments in sports, both at home and internationally. Now I want to transfer all this dedication, determination, the passion I have for my sports and for the champion that I have become to my political career.
What platform are you running on, Kaya? What are some of the things you'd like to do once you get into office?
Definitely my aim and objectives before going on this venture has been sports, healthy living, in that field, in that category of things, and definitely coming to the council, that is what I bring to the table. Imagine a city erupting with sporting activities on a yearly basis, not only for a particular period of time or on weekends or during the summertime. Imagine our residents being able to have access to exercise right within their constituencies. These are things that we plan to bring to the table.
Rounding out the 10 councillors on the PUP's 2021 municipal slate in Belize City are returning councillor candidates Micah Gooden, Alan Pollard, Albert Vaughn, and Javier Castellanos, who are joined by newcomers Edmund Kwan, Michael Novello, Deanna Ricania, Natasha Pipersberg, and Stephanie Hamilton. Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
Following the PUP's nomination this morning, it was the UDP's turn at the ITVET, where mayoral candidate Urson Pickard and his team of 10 councillors were officially nominated. Following the process, Pickard and councillor candidate Shane Williams spoke to the press about the nomination and what it means for them going into the March 3rd municipal elections.
My team and I are really elated. It's official now that we are the UDP Belize City 11 slate, and we are ready to continue the work that we have been doing and consulting with the people of Belize City in order to convince them to cast their ballot for us on March 3rd, 2021.
Are you all a team of sacrificial lambs?
There is no sacrificial lambs here, Jules. I can speak for myself and my councillor candidates. We wanted this opportunity to serve the people of Belize City. And because we have been granted that opportunity and made official today, we will continue to consult with the people of Belize City, the residents, and come March 3rd, we will deliver a victory for the United Democratic Party in Belize City.
This is a proud moment for myself, this is a proud moment for my family, and this is a proud moment for my community. So I'm coming all out. It's not every day somebody from Crown Road comes and get nominated to run for Belize City Council. So this is a big day for us.
You all would be starved if elected because the PUP in Belmopan can't help you and won't help you.
Jules, the City Council is still collecting trade license. It's still collecting property taxes. The long and short of it, the City Council can sustain itself. All it takes is for you to channel the resources where it is supposed to go. And we will get back the resources into the community. We will build streets. We will hire individuals from the community to ensure that we are building back our city together.
Where is it going right now?
Ask the mayor.
A woman is likely to become the next mayor of the capital city of Belmopan. Today, former city councillor, now PUP's mayoral candidate Sharon Palacio, officially secured her name on the ballot for the March 3rd municipal elections. Flanked by her slate, that is, consisting of 3 women and 3 men, the area rep, Oscar Mira, Palacio says that she is confident that Belmopan residents will elect them into office.
Politics is not an easy road, especially for women, because we are living in a patriarchal society. But I can see that the wave has changed, because for Belmopan it's going to be 2 females, and we are looking forward for a big win, and we're putting in the work. We're doing our campaigns. Everybody here are very hard workers, and our slogan is a change from the heart, because at this time, along with the pandemic, we have a lot of people who they've lost hope. And our role will be to light that candle in the darkness and ensure that our people are pleased. People power is power. We're here to make a difference, a big difference, whereby the people will see what we're doing, and whenever you come to City Hall, Dwayne, you don't have to make an appointment. Our doors, the mayor's office, will remain open just the way I did at the University of Belize. I will not say anything negative about Jackie. I consider ourselves friends. But when it comes to the battlefield, we're going to battle. And let's go for it, March 3rd, and the people will decide. And I can safely share with you that the people want a change. And that's what, if you have a central government favoring our party, the People's United Party, it is just right. And I shouldn't say it is just right, but we are the people's choice.
In the capital, sitting Deputy Mayor Jacqueline Burns is now leading the UDP slate into the municipal elections. Mayor Khalid Belail announced earlier on that he was not recontesting his seat, and Burns took up the challenge. Going head-to-head against a friend and fellow educator, Burns was asked about her confidence going into the elections.
We're pretty optimistic. We've been putting in the work. We've been house to house on the campaign trail. We've covered just about almost all of central Belmopan, and we have, yes, some areas in the periphery that we still have to walk, but we're jamming every day, and we go up until curfew time in some instances.
The UDP has been the presiding power over Belmopan from since 2006, yes, which is 15 years. Yes. Do you guys think that the Belmopan residents have seen your track work, want you back in office, or do you think that maybe it's time that they have a change?
We are, like I said, very optimistic. We feel that our track record has spoken for itself. There's a reason why 5 terms the UDP has been elected in Belmopan. We want to continue the good work. We want to build on the good work that has been laid by past mayors under the UDP umbrella, and we're certainly going to put our best efforts towards winning that.
When we come back, we'll tell you about 2 families who lose their homes in weekend fires.
Welcome to Belize Medical Associates. As we embrace the new normal, we aim to do everything possible to ensure that our patients and staff remain safe. We not only ensure that everyone sanitizes upon entrance, but we also do temperature checks and screening, as well as daily sanitization of the entire compound. Your health and safety are paramount. With over 30 years' experience in providing healthcare, we strive to remain the leader in expert quality care by offering over 26 experienced doctors that provide specialist clinics, as well as a fully stocked pharmacy with a qualified and courteous staff that is ready to serve you. You can now refill your prescriptions by sending a photo of it via WhatsApp to 653-1042 and pick up the following day. Or you can take advantage of our curbside pickup service. We boast not only a fully digital imaging center with the most modern technology in our MRI and CT scan services, but also one of the most accurate and efficient laboratory services in Belize with our state-of-the-art instrumentation and qualified personnel. Having recently acquired the Mindray BS480 clinical chemistry analyzer, this fully automated equipment has the capacity to conduct over 500 tests per hour, a first of its kind not only in Belize, but the entire Caribbean. At BMA, we stand ready to serve you. Our ICU and trauma units remain fully equipped and functional as we continue to provide 24-hour emergency care. Call us at 223-0303. We at Belize Medical Associates encourage all to keep the faith and remain vigilant in our fight against this pandemic. We will get through this together. Belize Medical Associates. We do care.
On March 11th, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. A pandemic means the virus is everywhere, but it might not be everywhere at the same time. If there are no cases in your area, it does not mean that there will never be cases in your area. Here's what you can do to delay the spread of COVID-19 in your community. Stay home unless it's absolutely necessary for you to go out. Practice physical distancing when you leave home. Wash your hands frequently using soap and water for at least 40 seconds or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with anyone who has fever, cough and cold, or flu-like symptoms. Obey quarantine, isolation, and curfew rules. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs, counters, phones, and tablets. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth without first washing your hands. Help keep Belize safe.
Do you know what is the COVID-19 vaccine? The COVID-19 vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19 without us having to get the illness. It is safe and very effective. How does the COVID-19 vaccine work? Different types of vaccines work in different ways to offer protection. But with all types of vaccine, the body is left with a supply of memory that will remember how to fight the virus in the future. It typically takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after the vaccination. Types of vaccines. Currently, there are different types of vaccines. Each type of vaccine prompts our bodies to recognize and protect us from the virus that causes COVID-19. None of these vaccines can give you COVID-19. Some of the vaccines are Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna. Both are RNA types, part of the virus genetic code. They both need 2 doses. Sputnik V and AstraZeneca, both are viral type, genetic modified virus. They both need 2 doses. Do I still need to practice safety measures after being vaccinated? Yes. You need to continue wearing your mask, washing hands, and practicing physical social distance. The vaccine reduces the severity of the COVID-19 infection. There is also evidence that the vaccine reduces transmission of the COVID-19 virus.
The body of a Hispanic man was discovered in a shallow grave off the Hummingbird Highway just outside of Belmopan near the Pollack Farms. The body has been identified as a man who'd been missing for quite some time. Early this morning, police were called out to the area for the discovery of the decomposing body. This afternoon, when we spoke with Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, he shared the preliminary information with the media.
Sometime around 9 a.m. thereabout, a group of hunters came across a shallow grave somewhere around mile 44 and 43 on the Hummingbird Highway. Police visited the area, they dug the shallow grave, and they came across a body of a male Hispanic person. The body has been identified, but I am not sure if the next of kin has been informed, so I'm not going to reveal the name at this time. But police are in direct communication with the family members and are investigating that matter.
This person had been reported missing or something like that?
Yes, the person was reported missing before.
Over the weekend, there was another police-involved shooting on Saturday on Marine Parade in Belize City. Akeem Patterson was on Marine Parade when a machete-wielding man chopped him on the head. The police were called and the assailant, identified as Francis Ramos, attacked one of the officers, who pulled out his service-issued weapon and fired a shot that caught him in the leg. Both Patterson and Ramos were taken to the KHMH for treatment. Today, Deputy Head of the National Crimes Investigation Branch, Senior Superintendent Alberto Romero, shared the details.
On Saturday around 4 p.m., Akeem Patterson reported that he was at Marine Parade when he was approached by a male person who inflicted a chapung to him on his head for no apparent reason. The police was called. The police responded, at which point the male person who had inflicted the chapung assaulted the police with the machete, and as a result he was shot to the leg. The male person was identified as Francis Ramos, Belizean of no fixed address. He was taken to the KHMH where he remains in a stable condition. Akeem Patterson was treated and released from the KHMH.
There were 2 household fires over the weekend, up north in Carmelita Village and in the west in San Ignacio. The fire in San Ignacio started in the early hours of Valentine's Day at the Carcamo residence. The blaze started inside the home and left an older woman and her son with varying degrees of burns. All other family members who live in the house escaped unhurt. Investigators say they're still trying to determine what caused the inferno.
Police were called to the home of Mercedes Carcamo on 8th Street in San Ignacio, who reported to the police that sometime shortly before 2:30 a.m. she was alerted to the popping sound and realized that her house was on fire. The fire apparently started from inside one of the bedrooms occupied by one of her brothers, who at the time was not inside the room but was inside the bathroom. They were able to get out of the house, and during the process, her mom, one Mercedes Canty, 65 years, received varying degrees of burns along with her other brother, one Karim Carcamo. They were unable to save any of their belongings. However, we're told that everyone was able to exit the building safely, aside from those receiving the burns.
The other blaze occurred a day earlier in Carmelita. The fire completely gutted a wooden and concrete structure belonging to Gerald Gabriel. No one was at home at the time of the fire.
At the time, Mr. Gabriel was not at home, and nobody was at home at the time of the fire. He is yet to make an official report in relation to the fire. At this point in time, also the cause of the fire has not yet been determined.
A contractor was busy at work over the weekend when 2 thieves ambushed him. The robbery happened in Orange Walk, and the contractor was working on a building at the Louisiana Government Preschool. The thieves, one armed with a gun, accosted Wilbur Vega and robbed him of his wallet and other personal items. ACP Joseph Maivet says 3 persons are in custody.
Police were called to the Louisiana Government Preschool in Orange Walk town, where they met and spoke to one Wilbur Vega, who was doing some contract work on the building, and sometime just around 11 a.m., whilst he was alone inside one of the classrooms, he was approached by 2 dark complexion male persons wearing masks, one of whom is believed to have been armed with a handgun, who then approached him, and he was hit with that handgun and relieved of his personal belongings, including his wallet containing an undisclosed amount of money. So far, police have 3 persons in their custody pending this investigation.
After the break, police will get fit for duty in their brand new gym.
Are you traveling? Effective January 26, all passengers traveling internationally will need to get tested no more than 3 days before you travel to the United States, and show your negative result to the airline before you board your flight. Here at Caring Hands Clinic in San Pedro, we administer the antigen test, frequently referred to as a rapid test. Our products are CDC compliant and FDA approved. Testing has never been this easy. With our highly certified and licensed medical staff, we provide you with an accurate test result in minutes, making your experience fast, safe, and easy. To book your appointments today, contact us on any of our hotlines at 671-TEST or 672-TEST, 226-FAST, or our Vonage line at 305-420-6203. Book your appointments online at www.belizecovidtest.com. Caring Hands Clinic Antigen Test Center. We're pleased to serve you.
Currently, we're using Smart Elite VoIP calling plan. We use it interbranch, we use it to call outside, and we also use it to call internationally. It's far cheaper than what we used to have before. Our equipment, our new PBX box is new. So the PBX is very good because I can call to my Sartaneja branch, I can call to my Kikaka branch, I can call to San Pedro branch, and there's no cost using the PBS. Actually right now, since we're in different locations, I can call main office from where I am at a no cost using the PBX system. I would recommend it, sure I would, especially the big enterprises who has a lot of employees. There's a lot of reduction in costs, 50% of saving. Put that on a year, it's a lot of money that we're saving. Money that we could return to our members, since we give back dividend to our members.
Visit our showroom or call 670-6710 to find out how Smart's corporate plan and PBX systems can benefit your business. Consultation is free.
The Lord Ashcroft COVID-19 Relief Fund has once again come through for the Belize Police Department. This time, the fund provided the funds to transform an existing space at the Queen Street Police Station into a gym. It is a facility that the department had been clamoring for in the city, which they say will help keep officers in top shape to carry out their duties. News 5's Dwayne Moody was on hand for the inauguration of the Fit for Duty gym.
With a price tag of $132,000, a gym was officially inaugurated at the Queen Street Police Station in Belize City. For a monthly fee of $20, officers will have access to the gym to stay healthy and fit to carry out their duties.
While yes, it is a gym for police officers, we must understand that the gym do require maintenance. And so, while yes, police officers are going to utilize the gym, it will come at a very small cost. And the cost is not to make a profit, but just to ensure that the gym equipments are maintained on a daily basis, because if we don't maintain it, then it is not going to last.
What was once the cafeteria on the second floor of the building has been transformed into a gym thanks to the support of the Lord Ashcroft COVID-19 Relief Fund. Fully stacked with equipment for weightlifting and cardio, the Fit for Duty gym was officially inaugurated. On hand were Chairman of the Fund, Lyndon Giuseppe, and Lord Michael Ashcroft himself.
My interest in law and order goes back to 1988, where in the United Kingdom, I formed and became chairman of the United Kingdom Crime Stoppers organization. When Compol first approached me to be able to help, and the first one was on masks and PPE and gloves for the police force, I was absolutely delighted to be able to do it with the gym and to keep one or two of you a little fit as I look around. I'm absolutely pleased. So it's my pleasure.
I think that what we have here today is a very timely donation from the Lord Ashcroft COVID Relief Fund. As you know, the fund had given to food grocery packages and that sort of thing, but to have it contributed towards the gym for the police department, we are extremely grateful for the contribution. Like you're rightly pointing out, this is a time for us to be very health conscious and aware of our health status, and so it's very important that we keep in shape especially in times of COVID. So I'm sure that the officers will make very good use of the new facility.
At the point of recruitment of officers into the Belize Police Department, there is a requirement for the successful applicants to be physically competent, fit for duty, will provide the officers with the space and equipment to train and remain in shape.
There is nothing in the police regulation as opposed to the BDF, which is a military organization, that members must maintain a certain level of physical standard. But we do expect that our officers must, to some extent, ensure that they maintain a certain body structure and a certain degree of fitness. You know that the police duties entails a lot of moving around. It entails the pursuing of criminals, and we cannot pursue criminals and stop them with bullets at all time. We must from time to time see how we can use our own physical self to be able to catch up with criminals, and so we are hoping that with this gym it will put us in a much better position to be able to do so.
Corporal Theodore Lopez came up with the name for the gym, and so today he was presented with a certificate. He also won cash and a year free to use the gym. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Last week, we reported on the murder of Orange Walk resident Michael Escalante. Escalante's body was discovered in the grass on the side of the road around mile 33 on the George Price Highway. His 2017 Wingle pickup was missing. But as we found out from ACP Joseph Myvet today, investigators do not believe that robbery was the motive behind the crime. Escalante was shot once to the head and his body discarded on the roadside. When his killer or killers took off with his vehicle, Escalante was not robbed of his money. 2 days after his murder, and with assistance from air surveillance, police discovered the Wingle on Friday morning in a wooded area of the Mahogany Heights community. ACP Myvet says that they're looking for 4 persons.
We continue to follow several leads in relation to that, and on Friday last, sometime shortly before midday, his vehicle, which is a red Wingle, was located about 5 to 10 minutes walk southwest of Mahogany Heights, within a wooded area. The 2 front windows were apparently shattered by bullet holes. However, the vehicle itself remained intact in terms of its components, meaning the machine, the wheels, and so forth. The vehicle was intact aside from the windows being shattered.
In the latest update to the investigation of the murder of Jose Santos, Commissioner Williams says that the police are seeking 2 persons. The Armenia villager, who relocated to the Western Paradise Village for work, was shot multiple times last Tuesday as he delivered bread to a shop on Mahogany Street in Belize City. He died 1 day later at the KHMH. Here's Commissioner Williams with more.
The police are looking at 2 persons of interest, and we're hoping that we'll be able to narrow down on those persons. And hopefully if we get sufficient information or evidence, then we'll be able to charge someone in respect to that murder.
Last Tuesday night, a traffic accident on the Stan Creek Valley Road claimed the life of 26-year-old Arita Vanzi. The Roaring Creek resident was traveling along with 3 other persons inside a Chevy Impala car when the driver, Customs Officer Dean Castillo, lost control of the vehicle, ran into a ditch and hit a culvert. Vanzi died while receiving treatment at the Southern Regional Hospital. Today, police confirmed that all other victims have been released from the medical facility and that the driver has been served with a notice of intended prosecution.
The post-mortem is scheduled for later today. All those other persons involved in the traffic accident have since been released from hospital. The driver has since been served with a notice of intended prosecution pending the post-mortem results, and thereafter it is expected that charges will be levied against him.
So what have you guys found out to be, what caused that accident?
At this point in time, from what we are gathering, it is believed to have been speeding, but we are still investigating that angle of the incident.
Up next, Mayor Wagner responds to allegations of conflict of interest at City Hall.
In response to COVID-19, the government of Belize has implemented strict guidelines on persons to practice social distancing to reduce the spread and risk of getting COVID-19. Practicing social distancing is when one maintains a greater than usual distance away from another person. In public health, it is a practice to prevent sick persons from coming in close contact with healthy people. Recent studies are showing that social distance of 3 feet or more decreases the exposure of COVID-19. Before these restrictions, a person with COVID-19 could infect 2.5 persons in 5 days, 406 persons in 30 days. When you put into practice measures to reduce the exposure activities by half of that one infected person, in 5 days you would possibly only infect 1.25, 30 days, 15 persons. Reduce the exposure of that infected person by 75%, in 5 days you infect 0.625, in 30 days 2.5 persons. Remember, the virus does not move on its own, people move it. The more space between you and others, the harder it is for the virus to spread. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
In partnership with the British High Commission.
Why, Tony?
Why, kid, what are you going on, man?
We actually come see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran to the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have that thing? What are you going on?
Check this, right? That's a new law we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Love is a connection that should last forever. This February, NextGen is sharing the love with amazing promo deals for everyone. Reconnect or install with NextGen for free. Sign up for our affordable cable and high-speed internet plans and get 1 month free on your acquired service. But that's not all. New and reconnecting customers can now receive 1 month free MyTV subscription when you sign up with us anytime in February. Some restrictions apply. For more information on our promotions and services, contact us at 0800-222-5388 or via our social media platforms. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
Did Mayor Bernard Wagner use his power at Belize City Hall to promote his business at City Hall? It's an allegation that's resurfaced last when the City Council's Human Resources Unit sent staff an internal memo to encourage the mayor's privately owned business called JBW Finance Company Limited. It's a microfinance and loan operation that used City Hall to market its services. The memo that went out offers the Citco staff membership a 14% credit rate from JBW. Some staffers felt it wasn't right for the council to promote the mayor's business through an internal memo. They thought it was an apparent conflict of interest that targeted staff to gain business for a private entity. When the media caught up with the mayor today, the media pressed him about it. Here's how that conversation went.
Is it a conflict of interest that CITCO Human Resources is offering 14% to council staff for your own organization?
I don't manage that organization, and so I will not comment further on that. That organization has a manager, and the relationship that the manager has is not anything on the mayor. There are two different entities.
Sir, but if you own it, it's a conflict of interest, you'd agree?
I did not send any kind of...
But do you own it?
I own the business, of course I own it.
Right, so it's a conflict of interest, sir. You're the mayor. How would your office turn it down?
How can it be a conflict?
How would the council turn it down, sir? It's the mayor's business.
It's a relationship with the manager of that business and the council.
So essentially a relationship with your employee.
I'll leave it at that.
Another matter that is following Mayor Wagner into the 2021 municipal elections is the matter of the collective bargaining agreement with the Christian Workers Union. As you will recall, for the past couple of weeks, we've been reporting on the strained relations between the CWU and the Belize City Council. The CWU has been asking the Belize City Council to go to the table for negotiations on the CBA before the municipal elections. Well, that's not going to happen, according to Mayor Bernard Wagner. So will that refusal to negotiate on the CBA affect the mayor's chances at the municipals? That's what he was asked today.
Mayor, do you think the failure to sign that CBA with the CWU is going to hurt your chances going into the municipal elections?
Again, the CWU matter is a principal matter, and we stick by that principle that we will not sign any contracts, any agreements, make no proposals to tie and bind the hands of a future council or a future mayor, and we stick by that. And so whatever come, but that is our principle, and you can't beat us down for standing by that principle. That is what got us in trouble, and that is where we are in trouble right now at a central government level, because politicians on the 11th hour sign agreements that bind the hands of future governments, that binds the hands of future municipalities and future mayors.
Should you win on March 3rd, how soon are you expecting to have a sit-down with the CWU on that matter?
Well, we already wrote back them, and we want to get that done based on our agreement with them, 31st March, and we have an agreement in place by the end of April. That is our pledge to them.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at News 5 Live. I'm Marlene Cuellar. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.